Media. Steven, your line is now live.
Hey, Leslie, I'm wondering how your perspective on the fight game has changed since you started studying labor in school.
Hey, Steven. Well, I feel like I have a lot better understanding of the tactical aspects of it that I didn't really have the patience to bother with before. Especially because of my own experience in trying to organize a union, I have a much better appreciation for the fact that things need to be finessed quite a bit, and that just because something is a great idea, it doesn't mean that the time is right for it. And sometimes you got to set stuff up a little bit more, and I feel like that's something that I do in my fighting a whole lot better. I used to come in and I'd be like, I got this great idea, let's do a 1-2. And, I would just do the 1-2, but sometimes that was just power running into power. And, just like the labor stuff, the union stuff, like, yeah, it is always a great idea for the workers to come together and to utilize their collective power. But sometimes you got to finesse stuff. There's some politics in there. There's some people who don't want to stand with these people. And then there's some other people who aren't even going to trust standing with everybody else. So the opportunities have to be created. And that's something that has definitely made me a better fighter, is understanding that I need to create opportunities, not just throw it all out there.
Does that apply to this fight in terms of a little bit more finesse as opposed to meeting power for power against Cyborg?
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, before, my fighting mentality was, I don't care if I get hit as long as I get to hit them back, I just had so much fun throwing punches that they weren't even always accurate. I was just like, whoa, look at me, I'm doing it. And, it's more important to do it well than it is just to do it.
Mike?
Hi, Leslie. I'm just curious how everything you've done outside of the cage, especially with the year we had during COVID and the social injustices going on, and going into something of a rematch with Cris Cyborg, and how bringing the real world and now the platform that you'll have, come Friday night before, during, and after the fight to speak on behalf of so many people that you really stood for in the past year. How has this kind of helped you prepare for this rematch?
Gosh, that is so much in that question. Well, the first thing that I got to say is I don't speak for anybody else. I don't feel like I'm in a position where I'm entitled to speak for anybody else. I can only speak on what I see and what I think and what I believe. And, if there's people who agree with me, then I'm very grateful to them for speaking up and backing me up on those things. But, as far as like what's going on in the world and how is it affecting me in this fight, well, especially right now, I feel like the biggest thing that's going on is the conflict in Gaza with the Palestinians and the Israelis. And, that's not a subject that I'm super well versed on. There's so many years of history going back on it. And as someone who isn't highly educated on all the aspects of that, I'm not going to speak vehemently about it, but I can speak vehemently about the fact that people can't be killing other people. They can't be killing kids. Like, it's not right. I don't think that the US should be supporting the destruction of children who literally have no other place to go, who are not free to leave. I have Jewish heritage. My family came from Poland, and they were Jewish. I wasn't raised in the Jewish faith, but I'd like to believe that I still have a connection to that. And so, like many people, like most people actually, I feel, there's an extra significance to what is going on there, and it's tough and it's difficult. And seeing things like that and the real pain and like the life ending and the life changing trauma that people are going through out there, it puts a fight, it takes away, it's hard for me to walk around and be like, I'm the most important special person, which is in the past what I would have thought I would have done when I was going to be having this main event on Showtime. I would have thought that I would be walking around like I'm the fucking queen, right? but you know, there's more important things going on. So I'm excited for this opportunity to do my best and to do what I want to do and to fight and to bring home this belt and to bring home the win. But I know that there's other people out there who are going through a lot more important things than getting in a cage and fighting for a belt.
Gabriel?
Hi, Leslie. My question, you've been in the cage with Cyborg before. Everyone always seems to build up, oh, she's this strong, she's this powerful and all that. How much does that experience of actually having been in there help you to clear out a lot of that extra noise that just always seems to come with fighting her?
Oh, well, first off, I stopped talking to everybody who's like, whoa, you're going to fight Cyborg. Like, yeah, dude. Yeah. Not going to have this conversation with you again. You know, fighting is all about like your mind and what you bring in. Yeah, being strong and being physically prepared is super important, but I've done all the physical preparation and I've done all the mental preparation, and experience is definitely the very best teacher. And so I know what I did last time that didn't work, and I know what I need to do this time in order to make it work.
Steven?
So I have a follow-up, Leslie. We heard just recently that Dana White has blocked the fight between GSP and Oscar De La Hoya in the Triller promotion. So I want to ask you a hypothetical here. Let's say the antitrust case had been resolved in the favor of the fighters and MMA was added to the Ali Act. How do you think that would change the outcome of the situation that George finds himself in right now?
Well, the antitrust is still going on. I just want to say that for anyone who doesn't know. So it's not like it wasn't decided in favor of the fighters. It's ongoing. It'd probably be ongoing for quite a few more years. But if the Ali Act to MMA had already been passed, GSP wouldn't be in contract with the UFC anymore. One of the things about the Ali Act is that it prevents these long-term contracts. And that is exactly what Dana White is utilizing in order to prevent GSP from having this fight. But you know what would have made an even bigger difference in all that is if GSP had stuck with his union organizing effort that he started in 2017. I believe that they had the very best setup of leaders that everyone would have followed, and that if they had had conviction and stuck with it, that something would have happened. But as we know, they abandoned that effort, and GSP got a contract to fight in the UFC for a title fight after several years off immediately after making that effort. That would have made the biggest difference if they hadn't done that.
Our next question comes from the line of Head Kick Audio.
Hi, this is Steve from Head Kick Audio. How you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Fantastic. So Cyborg is some of the mystique and the aura around, you know, her long winning streak kind of got settled a little bit with Amanda Nunes taking her out, and then Spencer, you know, not going away. What are some of the changes that you've made to this fight in particular, maybe taken away from what these girls were able to accomplish?
What these women were able to accomplish? I'm sorry. What was the question again?
What things have you added to your game plan for this fight specifically? Maybe taking something away from the women that were able to either compete with or beat Cyborg.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of women come in and be really successful, not ultimately successful, but comparatively successful to the women who fought her in the first place. You know, Felicia Spencer, she did a good job. I think she cut her up. Nunes, yeah, she knocked her out. It was funny. I was doing an interview with Dean Thomas earlier today. Congratulations to him on his analyst contract. And he was talking about how he had instructed Nunes to stay back and take it into deeper waters, and how she did the exact opposite of that and came out triumphant, you know, turned it into a brawl. And I mean, I'm not Amanda Nunes. I'm Leslie Smith. I'm I'm my own fighter. I'm doing my thing, but I definitely have been learning from everybody. And we have seen a lot of different tactics that people can utilize inside of the cage against Cyborg.
Tom?
Hey, Leslie, thank you very much for your time. This is Tom from MMA UK. Just asking, obviously it's, 5 years since your last fight with Cris. I'm just wondering, in your own words, like, how would you say you've changed as a fighter since your last fight with Cris?
I've changed so much as a fighter. Before I thought I was invincible. I honestly, truly did. I'd never been dropped, never even been dropped since then. I didn't care about defense, and that's a pretty big part of the game. I mean, Floyd Mayweather, people know him as the best ever, and his game is mainly based on being defensive. And it's an entire aspect of a fight that I hadn't focused on before. And so I have expanded my game, and it has made me a much more dynamic fighter, and it has given me a much greater understanding of where to take advantage of opportunities, how to create opportunities. I just see a lot more than I ever did before.
Last one, Dylan.
Hey there, Leslie. Appreciate you making some time.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, I was just, wanting to get some insights into some of the experiences you've had training wise, because last time we were speaking, it seemed like you were splitting your time between El Nino Training Center and Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Can you kind of talk about the importance and the overall journey of certain individuals like, Kerry Melendez and Shinju Auclair?
Yeah, totally. Something that I should have mentioned, as people have been asking me about what happened to change my game, to evolve my game, is training with Kerry Melendez and Shinju Auclair. I mean, Kerry Melendez, she just has a fight understanding and a skill. Her striking and her understanding of the fight is on a whole other level. It's a professionalism that I have learned so much from. And it's a professionalism not just in the way that she fights, but also in the way that she conducts herself in day-to-day training activities, and like the respect that she commands from people. I spent a long time really feeling like an outsider. I got to this team, I got to Cesar Gracie's, and I started cleaning the mats in order to get to be on the team. And I got Cesar to be my manager in the very first place, just by going off and fighting and then being like, here's some money. So I wasn't, I've never been really highly celebrated inside the gym. That's one way to phrase it, right? And so I think that kind of affected me in a certain way, and as far as like what I accepted from my coaches and from my teammates, and what I expected from people. And so being able to train and be around Kerry and Shinju, it's definitely elevated me in my professionalism and what I demand out of my training, and what I'll tolerate out of people around me. And that has made me into so much of a better fighter, mentally, physically, just all around.
All right. Thank you very much for the time, Leslie. Good luck this week.
Thank you.